Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I am going to be talking about series that I want to complete or get caught up on in 2021. One of my reading goals for this year was that I wanted to get caught up on the series I'm in the middle of, because there are several that I am reading right now that I haven't gotten back to in a while, and I want to try to get caught up or finish those series if I can, so then I can make room for more series in my reading life. Now, in this video, I will not be talking about every series that I'm currently reading. There are some that I've only read the first book of, and there are some series that I started and I'm not sure if I'm going to continue. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the ones that I really want to prioritize this year and ones that I really want to check off. I don't want to read too many series at once, so I think if I finish or get caught up on these series that I'm going to mention, then I can start new series, especially fantasy series, and get into those as well. First off, and this one is a biggie in more ways than one, I want to finally get caught up with A Song of Ice and Fire. This is one of my favorite fantasy series. It's what got me into fantasy. Before I watched the Game of Thrones TV adaptation, I thought I didn't like fantasy, and turns out now I really love it, so it's what got me into this genre. However, I DNF'd the last published book, A Dance with Dragons, because I thought this one was really boring. I read like 200 pages of it, I think, and then I just couldn't do it anymore. So what I would like to do in 2021, so I can finally get caught up with this series, is do the combined A Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons reading order. These two books take place concurrently, so you have some point of view characters in this book and some in this book, both taking place at the same time. But in order to do the reading order, I have to reread A Feast for Crows. I actually really loved A Feast for Crows when I read it. However, because the storylines going on in this book were not my favorite, I think it would be better to read these at the same time. There is a combined reading order online, a couple different reading orders actually, putting the chapters from the two books in the chronological order they actually happened. So I think I would be able to finish Dance with Dragons if I read it with A Feast for Crows, but that's a serious undertaking because it means I have to reread this like 600-page book that I've already read. I really want to commit to doing it this year though, because then I'll be all caught up. I can move on to some other series while I'm waiting for The Winds of Winter. And who knows when The Winds of Winter is going to come out. I saw an article the other day saying that George R.R. Martin said he made great progress in 2020 and he hopes he can finish in 2021, but, you know, don't hold your breath. I'll believe it when I see it. Next, I'm going to talk about a young adult fantasy series I have mixed feelings about. I read the first book, then I tried to read the second book, and I ended up DNFing it. So if I DNF it again, I'm probably just gonna quit the series. And that's Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I read the first book, Red Queen, and while I didn't absolutely love it, I did love the ending. I thought that was exceptionally well done. So I wanted to read the sequel to see what was going to happen next. However, when I tried to read the sequel, Glass Sword, in I think July 2018, I ended up DNFing it after 50 pages or so because I just wasn't feeling it. The first book had a great ending, but this is not a series I've prioritized. Obviously, it's been, I think, like 2 or 3 years at least since I last tried to continue with the series. So I think that if I don't get to the sequel in 2021, then I should probably just unhaul these and move on to something I'll like better. Or if I try to read Glass Sword again in 2021 and I DNF it again, then I'm just gonna unhaul it. But you never know. Next, I have another young adult fantasy series, but one that I am much more excited about, and I'm hoping to binge read the last two books in 2021, and that is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I have really liked the first two books in the series so far. An Ember in the Ashes I read in autumn or winter 2020. gave it 5 stars. And then last month I read the sequel, A Torch Against the Night, and while I did not love it as much as the first book, I still gave it 4 stars. The last 2 books are already out, and I am cautiously optimistic. I have heard mixed things, but I definitely want to give them a try because I'm anxious to see where the series is going to go. I definitely want to prioritize those in the coming months, and that's the great thing about starting a series when all the books are already out, because you don't have to wait years to see what's going to happen next. Was that shade at George R. R. Martin? You be the judge. Now I'm going to be talking about an adult historical fiction light fantasy series that I don't physically own because I've gotten the books from the library. I watched the TV adaptation first, like I did with Game of Thrones, and I really liked it, so I started to read the books as well, and that is the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. I read the first 2 books. I gave the first book 5 stars, and I don't remember exactly what I rated Dragonfly and Amber. I think I gave it 4 stars because I enjoy the characters in this series a lot. I enjoy the plot, but it does have some issues pertaining to graphic sexual violence, an issue that I also have with the Game of Thrones books. Yeah, so I don't love that, but I want to keep reading the series because I really like the characters, and I'm anxious to see where the story is going to go. I am invested in them. I just realized I forgot to turn Ghost back around after I put the books back where they belong. Sorry, buddy. There you go. I would love to get to the point in the Outlander series where I'm ahead of the television show so I can know what's coming, but I don't think that's realistic considering how large these books are and how many of them have already been published. But I would like to continue with the series because I enjoy the storyline, I enjoy the characters, though it is definitely not a perfect series, and I do have some issues with it. I think there are so many fantasy and historical fiction books that have too much sexual violence. Yes, this was an unfortunate reality of the past. However, people in the past also never bathed or brushed their teeth, but you don't write about characters that have rotten teeth, do you? Because nobody wants to read about it. Sidebar, one funny thing I learned when I was in England and I took a class about the Viking invasions was that the Vikings actually did take regular baths and frequently wash and brush their hair, and so there would be English propaganda vilifying the Vikings for bathing too much, saying that they're going to seduce your wife away with their cleanliness. So, but anyways, enough about that. If you guys know any epic fantasy series or historical fiction books, especially medieval era books, because that's an era I'm really interested in, that don't involve sexual violence, please let me know in the description, because I would be interested in checking those out. Finally, I want to talk about the series that in some ways I have the most mixed feelings about. Not because I wasn't enjoying the books, I really was enjoying them, but because of certain events that occurred in the past year, and I'm talking about the Harry Potter series. I have mentioned on this channel before how conflicted I was about continuing this series. I wasn't able to read the Harry Potter books when I was a kid. I read the first one and then I never continued. However, my mom did read all of them, which is why I owned all the books already, because she bought them more than a decade ago to read herself. So while I would not be supporting She Who Must Not Be Named financially by continuing in the series, I didn't want to make anyone feel excluded or like I was condoning J.K. Rowling's transphobic beliefs by continuing to read the books. And so that was something that I've really struggled with in the past several months, because I want to make everybody happy and I don't want to make anyone feel bad, and there's really no way that I can make everyone happy in this situation because I know there are a lot of people who want me to make more Harry Potter reading vlogs and will be disappointed if I don't. And I also know there are lots of people who have no interest in seeing that content and who might be hurt by it. And so that really put me in a difficult position because I wanted to do the right thing, but there was no easy answer about what the right thing was. There has been an ongoing online debate about separating the art from the artist. If a problematic person creates something, can you still enjoy the thing that they created when they themselves hold hateful beliefs? And there is no one right answer to this question, so I will just explain my personal thinking. For me, I cannot continue to financially support J.K. Rowling because I feel like that would make me a hypocrite if I gave money to her when I disavow her beliefs. I can't continue to give my dollars to somebody who I don't think is a good person. However, like I said, I already own the 3 books in the series that I haven't read. My mom purchased them more than a decade ago when we did not know these things about J.K. Rowling. I have a Hufflepuff sweatshirt. I have a Time Turner necklace. Should I throw those things out because I don't agree with J.K. Rowling? I don't really see the point because I already bought them before I knew these things about her, and some of my Harry Potter merch is not even officially licensed, so it was supporting fan creators, not her. However, I don't think I can, in good conscience, go to see the Fantastic Beasts movies, for example, because that is giving her more revenue currently. There's also been rumblings on the internet recently that Netflix might make a Harry Potter series, and that's not what this video is about. I will say, if that's true, I think that is really inappropriate, and I don't know why any of them would think that's a good idea. I think it is really disrespectful, and it's not something I would want to support because, again, that would be putting dollars in her pocket now, knowing what I know about her. Last time I read a Harry Potter book was, I think, in the summer of 2019 when I read Goblet of Fire for the first time, and I really did enjoy that book, so I did want to continue with the series. And so I think at some point in 2021 I would like to finish the series, and that's just so that I can close this chapter, no pun intended, on my life and move on to other things. People who want to watch the videos can choose to watch them, and people who don't want to watch them, I totally understand. The videos aren't monetized, none of my videos are monetized, so I will not be profiting off of them in any way. And let's just be honest, I'm a really small booktuber, and I think everyone who wants to read Harry Potter has read it by this point, so I don't think anyone is going to watch my videos and go out and buy them. But if I were to make those videos, I would make them with some caveats. Like I said, like all my other videos, they're not going to be monetized because I do not want to profit off of Harry Potter content. Secondly, they would be critical videos. When I first started reading Harry Potter years ago, I wasn't confident enough in myself, and I felt pressure to only say positive things about them. I think a plane is flying by outside, so sorry if you can hear that. I just got so distracted by the noise. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I know some people online have made jokes saying, oh, Harry Potter wrote itself. Imagine that. Oh, did you know that Shakira was the author of the Harry Potter series? And I know those are jokes. However, I think there is an issue with when you just divorce the text from the author, because there are some things that are a bit problematic in the Harry Potter books, and I don't really like the word problematic because every single person is problematic. There is no perfect person, and I think you can still enjoy these books, especially if they helped you through a difficult time in your life. However, I think it is important to be critical and to address the implicit biases that are present not only in this text, but in many texts and in many facets of our society. So if you are someone who is an absolute Harry Potter stan and you can't handle hearing any forms of criticism about it, then I wouldn't recommend watching those vlogs, because I do think it is important to recognize the problematic aspects of the books that we read, and you can still enjoy them, but it's important to discuss those things. And I don't know when these videos about Harry Potter are going to come out. It's not something that I feel comfortable doing right now, but I would like to get back into the series at some point in 2021 so that I can finally finish the series, get some closure, and move on. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that when I do make those videos, whenever that will be, I am going to include resources on how to be a better trans ally in the description of those videos. I know there'll be some people who won't be happy with that decision. There will be people who are interested in watching the videos. There will be some people who will take issue with the fact that I'm being critical of the books. And ultimately, I know I can't please everybody, and I as a person want to please everybody. I'm very critical of myself, but you know, I think this is just the right decision for me. Like I said, I don't know when those videos are going to come out, because right now I still feel like it's a bit too fresh, and I don't think now is the right time. God, I mean, I'm sorry to go back to this, but if Netflix is seriously thinking about making a Harry Potter series right now, it's just it's a terrible idea. I don't know what to say other than it's a terrible idea. And I would definitely not watch that at all. So those are some series that I want to complete or get caught up on in 2021. Completing series was a goal for me this year, and I hope that once I have closed the book, so to speak, on these series, I can start reading more series, especially fantasy series. I am relatively new to the fantasy genre, so there are so many amazing, interesting series out there that I want to check out and that have been on my TBR for a while. Please like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every single Wednesday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. So anyways, all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a charming rest of your day. Bye, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then.